The New Orleans Saints might have dodged a bullet. The early stages of Shedeur Sanders and Tyler Shough. The careers for both of these players, it's very young. It's very early. And I understand that there is a massive overreaction in this video. But it looks like the Saints made the right decision at quarterback. Shedeur Sanders was a very hot name around the Saints, not just on this channel, but around a lot of NFL media, around a lot of other fan bases, around a lot of other things. He was a name very much so tied to this organization. This is not a hit piece. This is simply me sharing my thoughts, giving you my take, because I think the Saints did make a good decision in taking Tyler Shough over Shedeur Sanders. Now, Shedeur took his rookie debut against the Baltimore Ravens because Dillon Gabriel left due to a concussion. And for what it's worth, I do think that Shedeur Sanders is going to be slotted to start next week against the Raiders. And I think you're actually going to get a much better read on that player. The Ravens defense, they're great. And the Ravens are a good football team. And the Browns, just totally fair to Shedeur. They're a disaster right now. Their offensive line is dealing with some injuries. They don't really have a good play calling situation right now. Their weapons are lacking. So I want to give Shedeur Sanders a lot of grace when I'm talking about this, but a 13.5 passer rating is not good. The Browns offense is terrible, but he wasn't great. And I understand that the game plan was also more suited for Dillon Gabriel. But look, we saw Tyler Shough at one point take over in the second half of the game, and he was pretty solid going around Tyler Shough. He also threw 2 passes against the Seahawks in that blowout. Not really going to consider that, but in his first real action, second half against the Bucs, Shedeur Sanders also second half against the Ravens, the numbers heavily favor Tyler Shough, and I know that it's different situations. I know that it's different teams. I know it's different rosters, and everything like that is important, but I just personally believe that the Saints made the right decision when it comes to their quarterback that they drafted. Kevin Stefanski did not do a good job in making adjustments at halftime to give Shedeur a little bit more grace, but I just can't help but think I'm really glad that the Saints ended up drafting Tyler Shough because the early stages and the early signs are really positive around this rookie. Again, I'm not knocking Shedeur Sanders. I'm just more so praising Tyler Shough and praising the Saints for making a good decision, at least for what it seems like at the moment in time of filming this video in mid-November. Of course, this could be wrong in a few months or in a year or 2 years from now. Maybe this is all in a completely obscure video. But I think right here, right now, at the time of filming this, when you take into consideration everything, it seems like the Saints did make a good decision. Shough's experience is definitely on display. Shough's ability to adapt and grow and manage and run an offense, and his experience in running a lot of different offenses, it's very, very apparent that he is much more comfortable and he is much more ready for the National Football League. Now, I'll let you pick a quarterback. Do you like Tyler Shough or do you like Shedeur Sanders more? Just type T or S down in the comment section. I personally like Tyler Shough more, and I'm one of those guys who said I wanted Shedeur in New Orleans. Hell, I coined the phrase Shedeurlands. And I understand that opinions can change. It's something that's important, but I got to give all the flowers in the world to Tyler Shough. He has definitely impressed me, and I think he's turning a lot of opinions around amongst the Who Dat Nation. And I just want to kind of pick this little bone here. It's all over social media. It's all over the comments. It's all over everything. And it really is something that it's starting to die down now more, but this whole Saints should have drafted Shedeur conversation, can we please be done with it? Again, this is something that will never be done because forever we're going to sit here and look, well, Tyler Shough was so bad, we should have taken Shedeur. Or, holy cow, Shedeur is so bad, thank God we took Tyler Shough. These are going to be conversations and comparisons that are always being made. But can we just stop? I'm just tired of it. I'm happy that we have Tyler Shough. I'm happy for Shedeur Sanders that he has the ability to go and prove a lot of people wrong in a team that is rebuilding things, and they can build around him in the future. I just cannot sit here and lie to you. I think Tyler Shough was a better pick. I think when you consider 40th overall, and you consider why Shedeur Sanders fell, and you consider why Tyler Shough was taken and why the Saints were impressed by him, it just was a better fit. I think Kellen Moore knew that he liked what he saw in Tyler Shough. He knew that there was things that he could work with in Tyler Shough, and I think that that's why Tyler Shough is finding some success early, because it was clearly something that that works just between Kellen Moore and what he saw in Shough. Maybe he saw something none of us else did. And a lot of us were very frustrated with that pick at the time. But again, I just think that this was a smart decision for Tyler Shough. And moving forward, I want to talk about what I want to see from him throughout the remainder of the season. He's a starter. You still got a lot of games and a lot of winnable games. And you could see Tyler Shough really start to light things up. But first things first, got to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is PrizePicks, my favorite app to use on game days. Look, the Saints games, they're starting to get a little bit more tolerable, but let's keep it real. It's not like it's all sunshine and rainbows. And you can turn your game day experience into a much better experience if you download PrizePicks. And we got a pretty sweet deal for you. If you use code CLNS, you'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. It's very simple to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Follow other PrizePicks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab over on PrizePicks. We make decisions every single day, but over on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid, so don't miss any of the excitement this season over on PrizePicks. And for the Saints versus Falcons matchup, I got an awesome lineup for you. I'm taking the New Orleans Saints to absolutely put BTA on the Atlanta Falcons. I'm taking more on Chris Olave's receiving yards. This just feels so disrespectful. I think Chris Olave is going to have a huge day. We're actually going to put out a preview about this later in the week, so I hope you check it out. Kirk Cousins, I'm taking the less on his passing yards. I think the Saints defense is going to cause some problems for Atlanta. And Tyler Shough, I'm going to take the more on his passing yards. Kirk Cousins does not have Drake London. He does have Bijan. He does have Kyle Pitts. But I'm here to tell you right now, I think the Saints are going to handle their business. And I'm going to enjoy game day a lot more, not just because the Saints are going to win, but because I'm going to be cashing in. Fun fact, if you follow this lineup, $20 will win you $105. So go put that ball knowledge to the test and download PrizePicks today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Shout out to PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. Click the link in the comments or description of this video to get started today. Now let's talk about Tyler Shough. Some things that I'm just really, really impressed with in this player. There's a lot of things, but specifically coming out of the Panthers game and what I saw in terms of growth from the second half of the Bucs to the full game against the Rams to the full game against the Panthers. I believe that we've seen the New Orleans Saints offense be elevated by Tyler Shough. I think he makes the players around him better. I think that he is somebody who also understands how to manage the game and work really, really well in the offense that he's currently in. I think that he also improved in the pocket. His feel is so much better. The way that he was able to he was able to kind of freelance on the just off the rip. He was able to improvise. That's what I was looking for. He was able to improvise against the Panthers, and he was able to navigate the pocket really well, find space, deliver the shot, hit Juwan Johnson on a couple of those. So that's absolutely electric to see that connection continue to grow and continue to be prevalent from their times back at Oregon. I think he's a tough and a fearless competitor. He is somebody who is going to sit in there and take the hit if he needs to. I think that he's somebody who has that size and that arm talent that you want in an NFL quarterback. He is very underrated mobility, and his passes, in my opinion, they're very catchable footballs. Like, he has nice touch on him. He isn't throwing it on an absolute laser every single pass. He's putting some nice touch. He's layering the pass in there. He's giving the receivers a much better opportunity to come in with the pass. And in my opinion, I think the drops have dropped. I think the drop issues have been less prevalent since Tyler Shough has taken over. Not a knock towards Spencer Rattler, but simply I think that Tyler Shough is really starting to take form, and we're in the early stages of seeing him be like, okay, like, hold on. We actually might have something in here. And like, I want to be totally fair here. Just like I was to Shedeur Sanders, just like I was to Spencer Rattler, just like I am to every single player on the New Orleans Saints or anyone I talk about. I want to go pros and cons, and I want to be able to have an honest conversation, an honest assessment with my opinions. Tyler Shough is not a finished product. He is far from perfect. I don't think that he is even close to being anywhere near the guy that I'm like, oh, absolutely, this is my franchise quarterback. Like, we're not building a statue for him. We're not extending him. We're not doing any of that yet. But the early signs are positive. I think that Tyler Shough is very comfortable in Kellen Moore's system. I think if you put more talent around him, it will only make the team better. I think if the offensive line can be a little bit more consistent and protect him, especially in the interior portion, then you will see better football from Shough. And if Kellen Moore can just find ways to play into his strengths, I got to be honest, like that 40th overall pick that a lot of us were questioning at first, starting to seem like it was actually a pretty smart selection. And it just kind of going back to the Shedeur thing, like, look, I don't think he would be much better in New Orleans. Like, I'm going to just be totally blunt with y'all. I understand that the Browns are a terrible situation. Their offensive line is bad. They don't have many weapons. Their coaching staff is a joke. But I don't think that he would be doing much better with the Saints. I think that this team and this offense and this future is tailor-made for Tyler Shough, and I think that Kellen Moore knew that whenever they got late into the draft process, and they knew that's the player they want to prioritize drafting. And again, I was on board with drafting Shedeur Sanders, so this is super hypocritical for me to turn around a few months later and have this conversation. I'm fully aware of that. And again, this isn't a hit piece on Shedeur. This is simply me saying, I think that the New Orleans Saints made a really good decision. And I'm going to be totally honest, like, I crazy concept, but opinions can change. I know that it's something wild to digest, but I was big on Shedeur Sanders. I wanted him in New Orleans. I thought that he would be a really fun addition and a smart pick, and he would be somebody who you could build the future around forever and ever and ever. That's something that I talked about on this channel multiple times. But my opinions have changed. And I think that that's totally fine. And if your opinion has changed or if it hasn't, that is totally okay. That's the beautiful part about this is we can have a conversation. We have discourse. And at the end of the day, we're all Saints fans and we want to see the best in our team. So I will encourage you, just be patient with this team and with this roster and with Kellen Moore because we're still ironing out a lot of the wrinkles. You still got to get a lot of the older talent and the older money and the expensive players. You got to get a lot of those guys off the roster, and you got to get a lot of the new guys in. You got to draft some dudes. You got to sign some guys. You got to bring in players that are going to fit Kellen Moore's team. He needs to build his roster with his vision. It can't be a Mickey Loomis vision. It can't be a Brandon Staley vision. It needs to be his vision. It needs to be what he wants it to be. At the end of the day, Kellen Moore is the nucleus of this all. Let's have some faith in the plan. Early signs and early showings, in my opinion, are indicating that Kellen Moore is doing the right things. And the Saints made a good decision in hiring Kellen Moore. Yes, the play calling is questionable sometimes. Yes, some of the moves are a little bit head-scratching. But let's give it some time. Let's be patient because I truly do believe that this team is moving in the right direction long term. I want to see more quality outings from Tyler Shough moving forward, and I want to see him continue to stack good moments and play with confidence, start to get some extra swagger, and learn how to win in multiple different ways. Like, I want to see the Saints run away with some of these games. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing the Saints light up the scoreboard here in the future. But I also want to see the New Orleans Saints find their identity offensively. I want to see them develop their playbook, develop how they go about these games, because I think it's very, very important to establish that identity early on so that way you can continue to build in the direction with a clear path moving forward. And the remaining schedule is not hard, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, the Saints are playing some of the worst teams in football. 25-47. Is the total record of the rest of the teams you play. Like, I'm not going to lie. I think the Falcons, Week 12, that is a win. Like, this just has win written all over it. It also has trap game, but it has win written all over it. Week 13 at Miami, maybe. Week 14 at Tampa, that one was going to be tough. Carolina, you already beat them once. What's saying we can't do it again this time at home? Week 16 versus the Jets. They're awful. You should win that game. Week 17 at the Titans. That's a very easy game to win. And then you finish the season on the road in Atlanta. Like, I'm going to be totally transparent. Finishing the season with 7 total wins is not a far-fetched thing to say. Like, Falcons are bad. The vibes for them are at an all-time low. The Panthers, you already beat them once. Feel like that's not a problem. Jets, you should beat. Titans, you should beat. 7 wins is not outrageous. And I understand that there is people out there, and I also sympathize with the idea that we want to see the New Orleans Saints have a very high draft pick. I trust me, I do too. But if you can rattle off some wins and you can show that this is a team that has a winning culture and is establishing a winning culture, like, I don't think that we should be at all upset if in the first year of Kellen Moore's tenure, you get 7 wins, which is better than what the Saints did last year. Like, I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think that's something to celebrate. And I think that Tyler Shough has a really good opportunity to gain that confidence and show that he is somebody that the New Orleans Saints are worth building around for the future. And if he doesn't, guess what? You get to make a high draft pick anyway. So sink or swim, the New Orleans Saints, it feels like it's a win-win in my personal opinion. But let's get some love for Tyler Shough in the comment section. I want to go see the black and gold get a W. So let's type some 6s in the comment section. Show our QB1 a little bit of love. And make sure you subscribe to Saints Now by Chat Sports. We will be live for this Falcons versus Saints game day for our watch party. It's going to be absolutely electric. I hope to see y'all there. You're formally invited. Make sure you come hang out with me and Loco Lopez. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time.